Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. This is Jellybean. I guess he's gonna be guest starring. Perhaps. I don't know. He might not stay long enough to guest star. But today I am doing my Reading Rush TBR and I am so excited. So I should start with what the Reading Rush is. The Reading Rush is a week-long readathon with 7 different prompts, so you can double up or triple up. So essentially you could do the whole Reading Rush with one book if you found a book that covered every single prompt, which would be really cool. I would enjoy seeing that. However, I'm crazy, so I am going to be doing all 7 prompts with 7 different books in 7 days. And I'm going to be vlogging it, and it's going to be so much fun. And I've never participated in this Reading Rush, but I've seen videos. They have like Instagram challenges. My Instagram is linked below so that you can go over and watch that between July 20th and July 26th. And they have daily video challenges, which I'm going to try and vlog every single day. So I'm going to try and get those challenges in there. I don't know what else to say. Oh, it is hosted by Ariel and Raylene. I will link all the Reading Rush's social media down below. I will pop the announcement video down below as well. But let's get into these prompts. So before I start, I should say that every single book on my TBR for the Reading Rush is based on a movie that I've already seen. Okay, so I've seen the movie, but I haven't read the book yet, which I know that's the worst of the worst book sins. Well, I don't know if it's really the worst, but these books right here, plus there's some more right here. There's a couple on my Kindle, but there's these and those are all books that I haven't read the book version, but I have watched the movie, and I think that I've liked all the movies. Yeah, there's just one that was like 3-star or 4-star. Well, I guess they're all 3 to 5 stars. But the first prompt is to read a book that matches the color of your birthstone. So I'm an April baby, and my birthstone is diamond. So I actually found this really cute book. All of these can be doubled, some can be tripled up because they are all books or movies that I watched, like I said. But I am trying to do 7 books. So I'm a diamond, which is like clear or white. There are colored diamonds, but typically you see clear or white. And I thought it would be really fun to read a book that actually has a diamond ring on it. So you see it shining, because it's a diamond. It's Something Borrowed by Emily Giffin. So I saw this movie when it first came out. I didn't even know it was a book at the time. But it's like a really cute, kind of sad book. I don't know. I don't think it's all that sad. But it's about this woman, Rachel, who meets this guy in law school, I believe, and she introduces him to her best friend Darcy, and Darcy and this guy, ooh, I wish I could remember his name, but Darcy and this guy start dating, and then Rachel finally comes clean about how she's been in love with him since law school, and it's kind of like this messy love triangle, which usually I hate love triangles, but in this case it worked so well. At least the movie version did. I gave this like 4 stars. So I think the lowest rated movie adaptation is 4 stars. But look at all the diamonds right there. Woohoo! So I'm counting that one. Okay, and then for prompt number 2, it is to read a book that starts with the word the. And I had 6 different options for this one from movies I've already seen, so that's really cool. I ended up going with one that I think is gonna break my heart. Wait, scratch that last part. I went with a different one that is on my Kindle, mostly because of length and time. This is only 150 pages on my Kindle, so it says it'll take me 3 hours to finish it. I'm not sure how true that is, but I figure something smaller would be easier, and I actually just saw this movie recently too. I think it came out, well, it was before the pandemic, but I might have watched it during the pandemic. I know it came to theaters in 2019, I think, and I just recently watched it within the last few months. And that is The Invisible Man by H.G. Wells. So the movie was really intense, and let's see if we can see better. Yeah, you have a major reflection of me, but it was a pretty interesting movie. So this woman gets out of an abusive marriage. She basically like runs away, I think, and then she starts, basically it looks like she's going crazy, and then like when she's with people, it's made to look like she kills them or she does something crazy and mean, and I thought she was a loony. But then as you kind of read or watch, you realize that maybe someone really is following her, and maybe she's not as crazy as she seems. But it was very intense. It was a really good movie. And since it's only 150 pages, I feel like that would be perfect for a readathon. So I'm using that one for the. But like I said, most of these can be doubled or tripled up depending on what books they are. But that's what we're going with for now. The third prompt. So we're gonna skip prompts 3 and 4 for right now, because 3 is pick a book that's pick a book to movie adaptation where you've already seen the book or seen the movie but you haven't read the book, and that works for all of the books right here. The fourth one is just to touch one randomly, and I want to do that one at the end after I pick for all the rest of the prompts. What the heck are you doing? Okay. So the fifth prompt was to read a book completely outside of your house. And Raylan and Ariel have since kind of adjusted that. You can read at a window, you can listen to nature noises, or you can do pretty much whatever you want for this one because of the pandemic and the stay-at-home orders. And I'm very much lucky enough to have a backyard that actually has a seating area where I can go read my books. So that's what the plan is, unless something changes. It does get really hot here, so if when I'm trying to read it's too hot outside, then I'm just gonna read this inside, and I don't know, it'll just count because a lot of people can't leave their house anyway, and typically, honestly, I don't leave the house very often anymore, only when I have to go to work. Typically, once in a while, like, I have been going to my local bookstore a little bit lately, but that's gonna drop down in August just to once a month. I think it'll be easier to, it'll just be easier to keep my new books, my old books, and read the books off my shelf. But that's completely off topic. So let's get back to what we were talking about. So the fifth prompt is to read a book completely outside, and I'm going to try to read this outside or figure something out. I still have a little bit of time. And this is a book that I need to read as a future teacher because I bought it from the thrift store. That's where I buy all my kids' books. Or at my local bookstore has like a bargain section for kids' books that are like between 50 cents and like $3. So I always try and pick one or two of those up, and usually I don't talk about them on my channel, but I kind of think I'm going to start talking more about teaching and things like that. Some of the cool teaching loot that I've gotten over the years, and some of my teaching plans and things like that, because it seems like it's getting pretty close, and I want this to be like a all-around show, you know, like, or YouTube channel where it shows me at all capacities, if that makes sense. But the one that I'm going to be reading outside is Disney's Princess Collection, Love and Friendship Stories. So I counted there are 19 stories in here about Disney princesses, and there's only 3 of these stories that I haven't seen the movie version of because I love Disney. I'm a Disney girl. So it's gonna be fairly easy to get through because look at the pictures, then the text is pretty big, and so, you know, yeah. If I read 3 stories a day, then I can, in addition to the other reading, then I can get through this in a week. Actually, technically, if I read 3 stories and then the last day I read 4, I can get done with it in 6 days, which is probably what I'm going to try to do. But See, and then there are pages with just the title. So I really don't think it'll be that hard to get through. And the pages are all shiny. So that is my pick to read outside. And if that doesn't work, then I'm probably just going to read it before bed, which was the original plan anyway, but I'm trying to get as many of these books as I possibly can. Okay, so the 7th prompt, I want to say 7th and final, but it's not because we have to go back. But the 7th prompt is to read a book that takes place on a different continent than where you live. This one's pretty short, but this one's gonna break my heart. It's gonna tear it into little pieces. And I found the audiobook version of this, so that'll help. Maybe it'll help, but for this I picked The Boy in the Striped Pajamas by John Boyne. And this is a historical fiction, which is outside my comfort zone, something I want to read more of. It starts with the, but I'm using it for the book that takes place on a different continent. So like I said, these have tons of the prompts. Oh, and it's a movie that I've already seen. But I expect it to be very heartbreaking. It's about Bruno, who finds a fence where these Nazis are being held captive, and he's a German boy, I think, and he finds a hole in the fence he finds a boy sitting at the fence, and they become friends even though they're supposed to be enemies, and he brings them food and things like that, and it's just a really heartbreakingly amazing book or movie. So I expect the book to be just as good, if not better. But the text is fairly big, and it's only like 200 pages. Let's see, all that back stuff is like an interview. Okay, so it is 216 pages, so I feel like that's a good one. And then, now we're gonna go back up. Okay, so we're going back up to prompt number 6, which is to read a book in a genre that you want to read more of. And lately, I've been really loving my thrillers, but I want to explore more in the horror genre, see how scaredy cat I am, because I love horror movies, so I want to see if that translates to books. So for that, I am picking a book or a movie that I actually just watched the other day. Me and my hubby had a movie night, and this was one of the Netflix movies that we picked. So I'm picking Bird Box by Josh Malerman, and oh my gosh, this was so intense. Like, I don't know what I was expecting. I thought because it was so hyped last year that it was gonna be like dumb or not be very good. But this was 5 out of 5 stars for the movie version. So I'm sure the book will be just as good, if not better. But basically it's this world where if you see the creatures, I don't know, if you see the virus, then you get it, and then you want to hurt people, and then you kill yourself. And it was very dark and very intense and scary, so I'm excited for it. Okay, so for the last two prompts, it is, sorry, I really want to look at you guys, but I also have my books in my lap, and I'm trying to mix them around so I don't know which one is which. But for the last two prompts, number 3 is read a book where you've already watched the movie version, and so like I said, all of them fit that prompt, even whatever's here. These are the ones that I'm most excited for that we haven't already used though. So I'm just gonna kind of show you. These are the ones that I'm gonna be picking from. Then the 4th prompt is to just the first book that you pick, like blindly pick, will be the book that you're supposed to read. And I am just going to pick 2 books so that it fits for both the movie version that I like, or the movie that I've seen, and for the random. That way they all have at least double the amount of prompts, but we're just gonna like go. Okay, so the first one is Hunted by Megan Spooner. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, so I'm counting it for Beauty and the Beast. It's honestly been on my shelf for so long that, okay, at the beginning of this year, I had so many retellings that I was so excited to read, but they all failed me. I haven't liked a single one of them, so I'm a little apprehensive about going into this one. I guess the last Beauty and the Beast retelling that I read was not bad. It was like a 3-star, but it was so hyped that I thought it, was supposed to be a 5-star. That was Bridget Kemmer's. Ooh, what was the name of Bridget Kemmer's retelling? I'm sure you guys know what it is. Oh, A Curse So Dark and Lonely. Duh. It was only okay. I gave it 3 stars, and I probably will never care to read about it again. This one's, that's the only part that I didn't like, was that it's Beauty and the Beast. But, oh, well, every other page is kind of like an empty little thing like that. So maybe it won't be, well, that's only at the end though. But this is 374 pages, and the writing's not like terrible, but I wasn't sure about the length, and Beauty and the Beast, oh, we'll see. I haven't liked any of the other retellings though, so then I gotta do one more right there. Okay. So this one, I'm actually really surprised I haven't ever read. It's a middle grade, so it will be a very easy read. It is Ella Enchanted by Gail Carson Levin. It's another Cinderella retelling. So I guess I have a few retellings this time. So I got my book of Disney princesses. Then I got 2 retellings. But this is an actual book. There's an Ella Enchanted movie, not book, that came out years ago. I watched it when I was a kid. Maybe? And I think I watched it when I was like 12. I don't know. I really enjoyed the movie. I thought it was cool because it was like a spin on Cinderella, but it was like Ella has this curse put on her where it's basically like the pause challenge. And, well, kind of like the pause challenge. There are times when she pauses. I think that might have just been for the movie. But it's basically she has to obey any order, even if she doesn't want to. And through finding herself and learning to be confident in herself, I believe she broke the curse. But I really, really am okay with that one. I'm apprehensive about this one. But if I don't know how it works if you DNF a book during the reading rush. I guess you just pick one to replace it for that prompt. And all of these can be used to replace any of these. And then I have more on the floor, but I'm not going to grab them. Okay, so this is my Reading Rush TBR. And then there is The Invisible Man by H.G. Wells on my Kindle. So, thanks for hanging out and talking to me about some books. And Jellybean didn't stay for very long. He sat next to me instead, so hi. I know you only come to see them. It's okay. I would only come to see them too. But please like and subscribe to this channel if you want to see more of this beautiful face. This one, not this one. This one. Like this video. And I will catch you in the next one, guys. Bye.